First, you stretch high as you can go up on your tiptoes. And then you stretch low. And then you stretch wide. And then stretch narrow as you can go. Stretch to the left. And then to the right. And then stretch really fast. And then stretch really slow. Show me a smile and wave hello. And let's all sit down for the story time show. Okay, we're going to read a really fun book about mothers called A Mother for Choco. Choco was a little bird who lived all alone. He wished he had a mother, but who could his mother be? One day he set off to find her. First, Mrs. Choco met Mrs. Giraffe. "Oh, Mrs. Giraffe," he cried, "you are yellow just like me. Are you my mother?" "I'm sorry," sighed Mrs. Giraffe, "but I don't have wings like you." Next, Choco met Mrs. Penguin. "Oh, Mrs. Penguin," he cried, "you have wings just like me. Are you my mother?" "I'm sorry," sighed Mrs. Penguin, "but I don't have big, round cheeks like you." Then Choco met Mrs. Walrus. "Oh, Mrs. Walrus," he cried, "you have big, round cheeks just like me. Are you my mother?" "Now look," grumped Mrs. Walrus, "I don't have striped feet like you, so don't bother me." Mrs. Walrus is a little grumpy. No matter where Choco searched, he couldn't find a mother who looked just like him. When Choco saw Mrs. Bear picking apples, he knew she couldn't be his mother. Mrs. Bear didn't look like him at all. Choco was so sad he started to cry. "Mommy, Mommy, I need a mommy." Mrs. Bear came running to see what was the matter. As she listened to Choco's story, she sighed. "Oh dear, if you had a mommy, what would she do?" "Oh, I'm sure she would hold me," sobbed Choco. "Like this?" asked Mrs. Bear, and she held Choco very tight. "Yes, and I'm sure she would kiss me too," said Choco. "Like this?" asked Mrs. Bear, and she lifted Choco and gave him a big kiss. "Yes, and I'm sure she would sing and dance with me to cheer me up," said Choco. "Like this?" asked Mrs. Bear, and they sang and danced together. When they stopped to rest, Mrs. Bear turned to Choco and said, "Choco, maybe I could be your mother." "You?" Choco cried. "But you aren't yellow, and you don't have wings, or big round cheeks, or striped feet like me." "My goodness," said Mrs. Bear, "that would make me very funny." Choco thought it was funny too. She does look kind of funny, huh? "Well," said Mrs. Bear, "my other children are waiting for me at home. Why don't you join us for apple pie, Choco?" Apple pie sounded wonderful to Choco, so off they went. When they arrived, Mrs. Bear's other children rushed out to greet her. "Choco," said Mrs. Bear, "meet Hippie, Allie, and Piggy. I am their mother, too." "What kind of animals are they?" "Not bears." The sweet smell of apple pie and the sound of laughter soon filled Mrs. Bear's home. After their delicious treat, Mrs. Bear gave all her children a big, warm bear hug, and Choco was very happy that his new mommy looked just the way she did. The end. Okay, we're going to sing a really fun song about my aunt now, but I'm going to need all of your guys' help. So everybody stand up with me. Stand up. Okay, this is an echo song, so we're going to have you repeat after me, and we're going to act out the actions as we do them, okay? So this is called My Aunt Came Back. My aunt came back from old Japan and brought me back a paper fan. My aunt came back from old Algiers and brought me back a pair of shears. My aunt came back from Holland too and brought me back a wooden shoe. My aunt came back from the county fair and brought me back a rocking chair. My aunt came back from Kalamazoo and brought me back some Gonda too. My aunt came back from Timbuktu and brought me back some nuts like you. Okay, we're gonna do a fun counting game next with the flannel board and sing a little song. So I'm gonna need you guys to help me count, okay? We're gonna start with the mama duck. And then how many babies do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. Alright, so we're going to sing a little song and you guys are going to help me count, okay? 5 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away when the mama duck said quack, 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 quack. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little ducks came waddling back. 4 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away when the mama duck said quack, 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 quack. 1, 2, 3. 3 little ducks came waddling back. 3 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away when the mama duck said quack, 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 quack. 1, 2. 2 little ducks came waddling back. 2 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away when the mama duck said quack, 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 quack. How many are left? 1 little duck came waddling back. 1 little duck went out to play over the hills and far away when the mama duck said quack, 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 quack. No little ducks came waddling back. No little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away when the mama duck cried quack, 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 quack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little ducks came waddling back. Okay, can you guys show me how you made Grandma's glasses? Pair of glasses? Can I see your glasses? Good. And let's see a hat. Can you make a hat and put it on? Good. So let's talk about Grandma's glasses. These are Grandma's glasses. And this is Grandma's hat. And this is the way she folds her hand and puts them in her lap. But should we do Grandpa's glasses? And Grandma talks in a deep voice like this, right? So these are Grandpa's glasses. And this is Grandpa's hat. And this is the way he folds his arms. Just like that. Thank you so much for joining me at Storytime today. Are you guys ready to sing your goodbye song before we get to our craft? Okay. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Make a smile, wink an eye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends.